Alright, you're welcome to this lesson. And in this lesson, we are going to be learning is the different part of the CorelDraw software. In this lesson, I'll be showing us what each section stands for, their functions, and I'm sure that by the time we are through with this particular lesson, we would have gotten a good knowledge of what all of these parts we are looking at represent. So let's delve into CorelDraw. So if you open your CorelDraw, this is what you have. This is the software that was downloaded via my drive link, Google Drive link. This is what you would have. And what you are having right now is what we call the interface of this CorelDraw software. So I'm going to start with the top here. Let's create a new document. Alright, we have created a new document, so all the parts of our CorelDraw software is active. The first on the list that we'll be talking about will be what we have here. That's called the title bar. What is the title bar? The title bar contains information about your project. It is a bar that contains the file name. When you save this file or when you save any work, it contains your file name. It also contains the directory into which your file is saved. Then also, as you can see, it contains the name, or it carries the name, the version, and the bit type of the system you are using. The name of the software, the version, and then the memory bit with which this system is operating on. So that's what the title bar is for. Now the second part below the title bar is what we call the menu bar. Menu bar contains menu options. It contains options called menus that helps us to carry out different actions as we will be seeing and looking at. Now if you click on any menu, you'll see more sub-menus to let you know that there are more options. And then as you go also, you'll see more arrows which indicate that there are more other options, something you call sub-menu to choose from. That is what the menu bar represents and stands for. So that's the menu bar for you. Now when we leave the menu bar, we come to that part that is the standard bar, I believe. Yes, the standard bar. The standard bar is not a menu, but it's more or less like the part that contains shortcuts of some menus from the menu bar. You understand? So take for instance now, I wanted to create this document, this work area, and make it active, our drawing window. We have to come to our menu bar, the first menu, which is file, and select a new document, new. However, on the standard bar, there's a shortcut there already that says new. So one thing you need to know is that a standard bar will only be active when you've created a new window, a new document area, a new working area. You understand? All of this will not be active until you have created a new document. Now further down below the standard bar, is what we have the property bar. The property bar contains information about your present working area. Let me quickly explain that now. The document size for this is not standard in CorelDraw, so it's having custom. However, if I go to choose a standard paper size, something like A4, everybody knows A4 now, you will discover that where my mouse is right now, we have the dimensional properties, the horizontal measurement and size of this paper, which is 8.268 inches, and then we have the vertical measurement also, what we have here. What we have here, this vertical height now, from the top here to the bottom here, we have it for this document to be 11.693 inches. Now the dimension, let me delete that. The orientation now of this drawing window right now is portrait, but if I want it to be horizontal, which is called landscape, you can change it here. So it is now in a landscape orientation. But if you want it to be standing vertically, which is the portrait orientation, you can change it here. Now also, this is an option that helps you to apply changes either to all pages or to specific pages in your design. We'll be looking at this feature later on. Then this is your unit type. What measure of unit do you like to work with? We have the millimeter, we have points and picas, we have points alone, we have pixels, we have dot, we have dot alone, we have feet, we have yards, we have miles, we have centimeters, we have meters, kilometers, we have Q, we have H. Now these are different measuring units. I work with the inches alone measuring because in the Nigerian market out here and in the African market generally, what we work with is inches usually and feet. Now depending on the purpose of your design, what you are designing, you can do any of this. You can make use of the inches or the feet measurement. These are properties that we'll be looking at later on as time goes on. Now after the standard bar, on our left hand side here we have the toolbar, and from the word toolbar, it is the bar that contains all the tools we'll be working with. All the tools we'll be working with. There are there are subsequent tools inside each of this menu bar, but we'll be looking at them in a more detailed manner, or with a more detailed approach when we start working. But practically and primarily speaking, all the tools we are going to be working with are listed or have been provided for us on the toolbar. They've been provided for us on the toolbar. Now, moving from the toolbar to this area now, what we have here is the Docker. The Docker contains properties. Let me create a Docker. Let me see. You can create more options here. Quickly, where's my object manager? Alright, good. So now, this is the Docker. It is collapsible and you can close it. It depends on you. When you want to open it up, you click on it. To close it, you collapse it here. You get it. Now, what is the Docker? The Docker is that part of the CorelDraw that can be used for more functionalities. It can be used to do a lot of things, and as we make progress, we'll be seeing the function of the Docker. But you just have to know that there's a part of the CorelDraw called the Docker. Now, the next part we'll be going and be looking at will be at the lower part of the CorelDraw. And what we have here, let's check this area. For instance, this is called the document palette. Do you understand? It's called the that is called the ruler rather. This area, if you click on it, you look at it, it has a measurement or a tape like arrangement and indication. So if I drag something like this from that part of the CorelDraw, you see these lines. So these are rulers, and they can help you in your design, helping you to note your measurement. Look at this now. So from here, I know that this is the O, this 0, and I know that if I take another ruler here, I'm measuring 1. So if I want to measure 1 inch now, following what I've just drawn, let it align. You discover that I'm almost correct. This is 1.000. So the ruler is a very powerful tool to help you design. It can serve as guides, it can serve as boundaries, it can serve as what do I put here? Measuring tool for a wow design. So you don't, what you have in real life can be modeled on the system when you are designing. So that's the ruler for you. Now, following that is the document palette. You see, all you have here, where the arrow is now, this particular bar here is the document palette. When you start working, you'll be seeing a lot of things there, and it is for your own. No, I mean, yes, sorry, below this, where you have this, where my arrow is right now, that's the document palette. It tells you information about what you have selected: object, element, shapes. Now let me select this shape that I drew. Now you can see this. Now it's telling you that there's a rectangle on layer 1. Now what's the layer 1? This is the first layer. We'll be talking about this whole part of the corridor shortly. But this is layer, and it's telling you that there's a rectangle on a layer 1. So that's the document palette. It gives you information about the document you are working on and the things you are selected or you are working with. Now, after that, we are going to the document navigator, and the document navigator is just above the document palette. You understand? A lot of things will be happening here. We'll be seeing colors arranged here. We'll be seeing information listed out here too. That is the document navigator. Now, next one is you are going to the document page. Now, when designing, right, you can create multiple pages within one document. It's like having a book that has different pages. That is how it works. So this is the document page now for this particular work space. Now you can create more document pages. If I create this now, I've created another document page. If I add more, I'm creating more document pages. Now, that is how to work with document page. What I've done right now is enough to help someone create as many designs as possible within one document, such that you don't have to be creating new documents all the time. If you have something like 5 designs for a particular project, you don't have to create new document, 5 new different documents. You can create one document and have different pages for each design. That is the function of this document page here. Now when you have done and we are done with the document page, one of the other parts that is very important is the status bar. The status bar. And the status bar helps us to understand things about the document too. It helps us understand the things about the document. That's what the status bar. The status bar is at the bottom here. It's at the bottom here. Then we have the navigator. The navigator is a very powerful function. It's this micros or this lens here. The lens here is your navigator. Let's go back to page 1. Let's zoom in, and then I can use my navigator to go through to different part of my designs. You understand? Different part of my designs. And then we have this ruler also, this ruler vertically and horizontally. It can help us to move across our designs. Now, I've not mentioned the document tab. The document tab is at the top here. document tabs at the top here, and beside it you see a plus button for if you want to create a new document. So apparently, and for anyone who has followed us critically, you will now see that there are three different ways whereby you can create in a document in CorelDraw. When you come to file, you create a new document. That's the first method. On the standard bar, you create a new document there. That's the second method. Now on the document tab, you can create another document. Three methods, right? Fine. Let's go to the color palette. The color palette is at your right hand side, just opposite your toolbar. You understand now? Directly opposite your toolbar, and it is arranged in such a way that you can see different colors and pick different colors. We'll be working with colors in the course of this course in the course of this learning process, and that is what we'll be looking at. And finally, we have our document window, and this is our document window. All of this interface is our document window. Oh, did I mention drawing page? I've not mentioned drawing page. So our drawing page is here. You know, when we selected A4 earlier, we looked at a change. We saw a change rather from a box, a square-like shape, to this vertical shape. This is our drawing page, and all of this area is our drawing window. So this is how, and these are the parts of our CorelDraw. This has brought us to the end of our class. All right. Having listed all of these parts of the CorelDraw, I'm sure and I'm certain that we've not seen anything less than 15 parts of the CorelDraw. Please take a look at the lesson again, watch this video again, get used and try and understand all the parts that have been listed, and I will see you in the next class. Ciao.